Get it. Get it. Open notes, open books, closed mouths. I want to know what you know, not what your neighbors know. Also with these, even if you're one of those kids who can do some stuff in your head, try to have a little work to back it up. Just remember, even if you're wrong, if you got a little work to back it up, we can give you credit for the process. I would much rather give kids a 3 out of 5 or a 4 out of 5 on a problem that the answer is not even close because they showed me something. Suppose we should do that attendance thing, huh? So. That one. I saw that one. And that one, and that one. Huh, full house. We got everyone. I could have swore there was someone that sat in that chair. Is there anyone still rolling? Okay. I'll give you another minute or two. Where's Tony? Hey, Tony Sullivan here. Wondering, would you be able to wander down, not right now, like maybe 20 minutes or so, if you're available this block? My projector is like wobbling. It's shaky on the board, and it's giving me a migraine. And I checked the connections and everything. I reset the projector and did all kinds of stuff, and it's just tripping me out. So, um, uh, yeah, if you're available. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. We have to, for a little while, go old school and dry erase it because Frank's had too many Red Bulls and he's shaking. I don't know if y'all can see. It's a little shaky, a little fuzzy. It's bothering the bejesus out of me, like hurting my eyes actually. So, all right, slope. We got a formula that does that. The slope is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Which one is which doesn't actually matter so long as you don't cross the streams. So I'm going to plug in x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Say negative 12 minus 9 or 9 minus negative 12, so long as you do the same thing down here. And negative 21 minus negative 15 is a negative 21 over a positive, what's that, 6? 6. Reduce it.
No.
Plus what? Yeah, it is. You're right. Oh, no, brownie points are off the table right now because I'm about ready to throw a chair across the room. Like, I'm barely keeping my crap together because of this thing shaking at me. So, fair warning. We're kind of like anger from inside out right now, just sitting there twitching, ready to go. Nothing with you. Frank's making me mad. Next up, write it in slope-intercept form means I got to get y all by its lonesome. I'm going to subtract that 34x. And then divide by a negative 17. Please tell me we remembered our negative still with the 17y. Getting a positive 2x minus 3. Because 51 divided by 17 is 3. And then point at negative 3 on the y-axis as a y-intercept. From there, up to right 1, up to right 1, up to right 1, up to right 1, or down to left 1 if you so choose. Please use a straight edge so it's reasonable. Alakazam, we got ourselves a graph. Another reason for us to have graph paper is so when we do our graphs for daily quiz, which you will do an awful lot of this year, it's reasonable. Because let's be honest, some of you, your handwriting's atrocious. So your graph is probably just as bad. And right now it's just a line. What happens when we're graphing that? Okay? So you're going to want graph paper. If you got $1, skip the Pop-Tart. You're almost at lunch. Throw a Pop-Tart in the bin. Grab yourself a graph paper notebook. Okay? So, did we set it up correctly, get the correct answer? Did we do the work correctly, get the correct form, and get the correct graph? There's your 5, x out of 5. Yes, ma'am.
The answer of the first question isn't 7 half, not 7 4.
It's 7 halves.
Oh! Yeah. Well, you still correct me. I just ain't putting any points up there. Because right now, my head's about to explode. Yeah. Like, y'all ever seen original Dumb and Dumber? From, okay? You know that scene where Jim Carrey says, "You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?" Ah! And he just makes this annoying noise for the next like 15 seconds. Okay, I want someone to do that in your ear. Pick up one of those big slugs that if you squish them like they goo, grind it into your ear, and then smack you upside the head with a 2x4. That's how I feel right now. That's what just that little shake on the board does to me. Okay? Sensory integration disorder. It's an issue. So, y'all just got to bear with me right now. This is like the loud piercing whistle at Chewbacca when he's in the detention center in Empire Strikes Back. Like, I'm freaking out right now. Okay? So y'all just got to bear with me. I'm going to make some mistakes. You had 92 hours. And I don't know that I received a single question. So, how'd we do?
46.
Let me guess, words? 46 words. Oh, hey, look, words. Suppose the equation y equals 12 plus 10x models the amount of money in your wallet. Y is total, x is number of weeks from today. If you graphed it, would the slope represent? What would the slope represent? So y equals, I'll even swap it around so it looks like normal. Okay. Y is the amount of money you got in your pocket. X is weeks from today. What's the slope? You said 46.
Oh, 71.
Page 71.
Page 71.
There's like a lot of fractions.
You're on page 57.
It's page 71.
Come on, you. Oh, that's right. We did a little bit of direct variation too. Okay, gotcha.
She had 72. Technically, there's no
46. Varies directly as means set up fraction, right? Y is to x as y is to x. If y is negative 5/8, I think that's 5/8, x is 3/2. Find x when y is 2/5. Dividing by fractions is easy as pie. Flip the second and multiply. And every time we have one of these proportions, we always multiply the two that line up and divide by the one that doesn't, right? Make that Jesus fish. So if I multiply these two and then divide by this one, effectively that's 2/5 times 3/2 times dividing by negative 5/8 by a negative 8/5. And then cancel, cancel. Negative 24 over 25. Be not afraid of the fraction. Now, let's say you took 2/5 times 3/2 and then said after the fact you're going to divide by negative 5/8. This is where we might get a little confuzzled because now we're going to say, well, wait, that's a fraction of fractions. It's called a compound fraction. Dividing by fractions, easy as pie, flip second multiply. I would turn that into 3/5 over negative 5/8, which is 3/5 times negative 8/5. Still the same thing. Okay? So don't wig out just because there's fractions there. Okay? Y'all know that you can do that one shot in your calculator if you got that fraction button? Like you can literally type a fraction that has fractions in it. That's why it's called a right view. I can type it exactly the way I wrote it. Okay. Question not observing?
Question just for you.
Okay. So, pause, don't burn anything.
You don't got one. Oh, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Use 84.
Yeah.
So do I, but I got grandpa.
Dude, mine's literally just that. Dude, yours is old like that. Mine's new. Don't. You should know what it is. I don't know, I asked you to yeah, everyone's your soul. I had it.
Hey, nothing's burning. Good job. Alpha y equals.
Thank you. Alpha.
Brings up a shortcut menu for different types of fraction input.
Wait a second.
So hit enter on the ND.
It didn't. Yo.
Enter. Box.
Alpha y equals.
Yes.
Alpha y equals. Oh wait. Yo.
Okay. Anything else besides fractions?
Fractions.
On which section? Okay. Come on, Frank. You said 55? Okay. Words? Oh, no, fractions. Find the slope and y-intercept of it. First things first. If I have a over d x plus b over dy is c over d, come on, Frank. Keep up, Frank. Oh, no, Frank just plain disappeared. No, the actual marker disappeared. The app quit. God, I hate this thing. X plus b over d y equals c over d. Frank, you piece of... All right. Where's things? Nope, cup. Thankfully, we have everyone here. If anyone ever has to go back and watch the video for this, you're just screwed. Come down during Spartan time. We'll figure it out. A over dx plus b over dy is c over d. All right. Step one. We always get that x stuff on the other side, correct? Okay, so I'm going to call that b over dy is a negative a over d x plus c over d. Now how do I get y by its lonesome? Divide by b over d, which is also multiply. Now if I multiply this by d over b, be careful, other side by d over b. Well, right? Yeah, that thing hasn't worked since the 80s. There's an electric one next to the calculators. I have to distribute. D's will cancel. D's will cancel. And there you go. Slope, y-intercept. Now option 2, you notice how at the end here I didn't have any D's left? What if I had taken the whole thing times D right away? Right? Because then subtract AX, divide by B's. That also works. Okay? The idea behind this is, like, yeah, you can math. Can you math even when it's not familiar? That's also why I try to do so many examples in class. Like, we have a really small assignment. Is that still sitting at that, if you're not distracted, that 15 to 20 minute mark? Okay. If you're a little bit of a slowpoke, everyone runs at a different speed. I can see going a little bit past that, but if you're at 30 plus minutes on a regular basis, you got to talk to me. Okay. I try to do as many examples as we can in class so that you see as many different variations of it as possible. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Right as I looked at it, it was like, oh, hey, look, it's back. It disappeared. And now the bottom's like having a friggin' fit over there. Okay. So we might be doing a lot of stuff over here today. Anything else from the homework besides, fractions? Okay. Y'all had over 90 hours to ask questions. Remind is a thing. Please use it. Or was the meme a little too accurate? Who didn't do their assignment until like 11 last night?
Barely 6 or 7.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get rid of that. And get rid of that. Okay, now the touch input's not even working. Okay. So, in that case, no. Notes. I'm just going to do it all over here because this thing's dumb. And Tony might be coming down here to help us out. So I'm just going to grab a separate thing of notes. Algebra 2. Is that the correct binder? No. Different class. Different class. All right. Hopefully our computer doesn't just completely crap out on us. Okay. So y'all gonna have to crane your heads over here. Goof troop if you got to move so you don't break your necks like an owl. That's cool too. But I got to come over here because that thing's giving me a giant headache and now the pen's not even working. So here we go. Point slope form. If I take, now remember this, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay, there's our slope, right? If, now we always put a number in for y2, y sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 1. What if, instead of a number, what if I just left that as generic x and y? Just generic x and y. Then, when I cross multiply, what's below that m?
1.
1. You get y minus y1 is m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. That guy look familiar? Point slope form. So, off to the side, our different forms we are going to have. Slope intercept. Y is mx plus b, also written as y is rise over run x plus 0 comma b as my y-intercept. Also in terms of word problems, y is rate x plus start. Now I know we didn't actually do that problem I thought we were talking about, but this is a good example of it, where it said this equation is the amount of money in your pocket. What does, what was it? Y was the amount of money. X was the number of weeks from today. What does the slope represent? Well, right there. The slope is the rate. In the case of that problem, it was I gain $10 every week. So maybe they're talking about, you know, little squirts that are getting words, got an allowance or something. You know what? How many of you actually had an allowance? Had or have an allowance? Okay. What's a going rate for an allowance in 2021? They're like, you know what? I'm going to give you, no, $5 a week.
Yeah, that is.
$5 a week, and you spend it on whatever, but I ain't giving you a dime for anything else. If you come to me and say, hey, can I get a pop out of the pop machine? They're like, use your own money. No? That's not a thing anymore? RIP 90s. Okay. This is going to be point slope form. Point slope form, switch to a different kind of green because that don't look right, is y minus y1 equals m by x minus x1. Okay? The idea behind this is you are going to put a number here and here. They are the coordinate x1, y1. You put the point into point slope form, and you are given the slope. Okay, I don't like doing this any more than you. I feel like I'm like going back to dry erase boards. This is when I was in high school. So, point slope form, pretty simple. If you're given a point and a slope, throw them in here. Point slope form is kind of like, it's the work boots of linear equations. This is usually where you're going to start. This is how you get things rolling, because that's the information you're given to start with. Okay? It's really, really easy. Even gonna, yeah. This thing won't even go to the next page. There we go. It's really, really easy to write something in point slope form. If they tell me a line's going to pass through this point with this slope, it is as simple as replace those two things. They told me the coordinate is -5, 2. So this is x sub 1, y sub 1. Replace x sub 1 with a -5. Remember when I said you should always, always, always use parentheses? What's going to happen if I just toss a -5 there without parentheses? We might accidentally say x minus 5, but it's not. It's x minus a -5. So I got to remember that. This is x plus 5 now once I simplify it. This is y minus 2. And they said the slope is 3/5. Okay? But it's really easy to write because I was given a point, I was given a slope, I shoved them in the right spots, I'm done. That's all there is to it. So, can you write an equation in point slope form?
Yes.
Do it. And this is how I taught it back in Algebra half. Was I put in almost like, you remember old workbooks or something like that where they had that like fill in the blank box? I set it up kind of like that and say, all right, my x part of my coordinate is 7. I will replace this box with the 7. The y part of my coordinate is a -1. You see how the box is acting like a set of parentheses? And the slope is a -3. So when I clean it up, y plus 1 is 3 by x minus 7. Okay? Oh. Yeah. Okay. That's ruthless. Yeah, fine. Let's just like twist the knife, will you? Jeez. Okay. All right. So, flip it over. You got a. You know what? Let's bring you over here. Show me some thumbs. Can you make those into lines? Can you put the slope and the point in the right spot? Okay. Cool, cool. All right, I'm going to give you 2 points. You got to tell me the line. Well, this is point slope form. I need a point and a slope. I don't have a slope, but I can make it. It just puts one step in front of what you're doing. So we're going to start with find your slope. Once I got my slope, I'm going to come over to this mx minus this. This. And I plug in 8 and 2 as my y2, y1. I plug in my 5 and 3 as my x2, x1. I subtract, I get 6 over 2, which is 3. Why did I write this twice? There are 2 points to choose from. Which one do I use? Either one of them. Now, someone's gonna argue and they're gonna say, well, the formula says x sub 1 and y sub 1, so I should use the first point, friggin' duh. But it won't matter in the end. And I'm going to show you why after we plug those in. Say, I've got a slope of 3. I can either use the point, what was it, 5/8? Yeah, 5/8. Or I can use the point 3/2. Now, I can show you that both of those are correct by turning both of them into slope-intercept form, which is one of the old standards that you had to do that says students will transfer between appropriate forms of linear equations. I have y minus 8 is 3x minus 15. When I add 8 to the other side, 3x minus 7. I've got y minus 2 is 3x minus 9. When I add 2 to the other side, sure enough, I'm butt dialing, ain't I? Well, I just plain killed it. Okay. Oh, I might have actually like shut it down. There's a PC off button in the top row. Yeah, I did. I just plain killed it. Okay, so we're not streaming anymore. Not that this one was worthwhile. All right, I'm gonna have to go off someone else's notes because there's not a spare copy back there. So, Rylan, I'm gonna do. Okay, y'all see that they're the same thing, though, right? Yeah. Now, those aren't what you write. Either this
or this is what you write. And they are both correct. Okay? You don't have to write both of them. You write one of them. You pick the point that works for you. So, down on the bottom there, you have part 2A. Here's 2 points. Now, this one's got some zeros in it, so some weird stuff is going to happen. I want to see what you think of it. Figure it out. No, there was supposed to be a Windows update or something. Maybe that's part of my problem here. Wait, what? Okay.